We are back with our next guest for this episode of Small Biz Highlight. I am your host, and my name is Tiffany Roman. Welcome. I am so excited for this episode, but first, because I went off script a little bit, I gotta show off my intro. Excuse me. I gotta get used to it, is all it is. I'm so used to just going into the TV show or the web show, going right into what's going on for the episode and whatnot, that I'm still not used to the intro. So don't judge me. I love my intro. I am so in love with it. The music just hypes me up, gets me extra excited for what's gonna go on for tonight. So if you caught my last episode, just happened, like it just ended like 5 minutes ago, people. But Catherine was a really great guest with amazing opportunities for small businesses, people who are self-employed and whatnot, who need healthcare benefits. I'm telling you, these healthcare benefits that she offers sound amazing. I'm even interested in looking into it, so I might be reaching out to her. But a few announcements before we get started with our next guest tonight. As always, putting out good vibes to you into the universe. 2021, this is your year. No matter what your dreams are, your aspirations are, your goals are, no matter what you are trying to accomplish this year, this is the year that it's going to happen for you. I am proclaiming it for you. Okay? So pass it along to your friends and family as often as you can. We are live with StreamYard. Super easy, guys. Unfortunately, if you do not get StreamYard permission to see your Facebook photo and name, then you'll come up a random number and whatnot if your comment gets put on the screen. So it's an easy fix. All you got to do is click on the link. I am putting it into the comments right now, so it's super easy for you to click on www.streamyard.com/Facebook. Once you click that, you'll be golden. Once you leave a really great comment or an awesome question for the guest, I'll be happy to put it on screen for everybody to see. I mean, because why not? Let you have your moment on screen. Come on now. All right. So lastly, just to let you not forget it, I am hosting my next virtual networking event Thursday, June 24th from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. It happens all online. I had my very first one a couple of weeks ago, got really great feedback from it, and I'm very excited to see it grow from here and what it can do for small businesses and anybody who is interested in chiming in. It is absolutely free for you to join if you are interested. It does also come with upgrades, of course, if you're interested in being more involved other than just chiming in and watching the events of the speakers and the games, because there are games, people. We have fun at my events. It's not just all business. We play around too. Trust me, you won't regret it. So with that, I will stop boring you with my little information there and get to our guest tonight, that I didn't ask how to pronounce her name. So I hope I pronounce it right, because it's a pretty common name, but everybody pronounces names differently. So I really hope it's Andrea. Hopefully. But, like I said, I have my moments where I really need to work on asking how to pronounce names before I go live. I don't know why I don't think of it until I'm about to say the name. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. All right. So Andrea is doing amazing things with her business. I'm telling you, she is inspiring lives and helping people through the toughest moments of their lives. And I mean, I don't even want to say anymore because it's for her to tell you guys. So let me bring her on. Why isn't the computer's not responding very quickly to these changes? Let's take a moment. There we go. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, goodness. I love Mondays because of my show. But, it's always a great day. It's always a great time to start the week with introducing small businesses to, a new person, at least one new person off of this web show,
Definitely.
help spreading the word that they exist, what they've got going on, and how they can help people. But most of all, who you are behind the business, which is how this all starts, my dear.
Great.
I am going to start by asking you, who are you? Help my viewers get to know you on a personal level.
Thank you so much, Tiffany, for having me. Happy Monday. I love Mondays also. It's like totally fresh start, jump in, both feet, good energy. I don't feed into that, oh, it's Monday and the weekend's over. I'm like, yay, it's
Yes.
Monday. Right. So, and I will definitely be checking out that last guest and the healthcare that she has, because I'm interested also.
You
But
have to. I'm telling you, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I am Andrea Castine. So think of Long Island and drag your A. My name is Andrea Castine, and I am a certified life coach in Northern New Jersey, but I coach worldwide thanks to Zoom and Skype and everything else, right? I am I am married. I live in Northern New Jersey. I have two children. They're adults, right? I have adult children. My son is 21. He is a senior in college, and my daughter is 19. So I guess I'm an empty nester, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Um, and as a
Good for
certified life,
you.
thank you. As a certified life coach, it is my job, it is my calling, it is my core. It's who I am, to help and inspire and transform lives, specifically lives that have been affected by addiction, drugs, alcohol, relationships, food, work, and sexual trauma. And I can bring not only my education, because I did go to school, which makes me a certified life coach, but I can also bring my life experience. I have almost 17 years sober from drugs and alcohol. My sober date is October 4th, 2004. So
Oh, wow.
as of now, I've got more than 16 years sober. And so I know what it is to live in the trenches of active addiction and to be consumed by that whole world, which is really ugly, really dark. And it's definitely a place that you can stay and feel like you can't get out of. I'm also a survivor of sexual trauma from when I was a little girl, and I'm able to identify and help people get out of that place of guilt and shame and feeling like they can't get beyond those memories and feel like that's just like a part of who they are, as opposed to it just being an event in their life. So that's who I am in a nutshell.
Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you
You
so
know,
much.
that is not something to take lightly. That has to be so liberating for you to be able to say it's been so long.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that ability to, get themselves out of that situation like that, to
Thank you.
get to this level. That's huge.
Thank you.
Goodness. Thank you for sharing that, as well as, the trauma you had as a kid, the sexual trauma, so many stories
Yeah.
out there in the world that are not being told, or
Right.
people that are just holding on to it, like you said, because of shame and whatnot. It's so great to have someone like you that
Thank
they
you.
can run to and open up to. And I think that's so powerful for you, and just oh, it's so powerful to have somebody who's been through it
Right.
then turn around and be like, it's not enough for me to, you know, have survived it and become, my own person through it, despite
Right.
it, more likely. But now you're taking it to that next step, and you're like, if I can do it, I want to help everybody else be able
Absolutely.
to.
Absolutely.
And that is just powerful. So thank you for what you are doing, honestly. And the business is called One Word Coach, right?
Yes, it is. One word coach.
So how did you come up with One Word Coach for the business name?
It was pretty easy. It wasn't something that I had to really think about and strategize, because you know words is really what defines us, right? Like, I'm a firm believer that words can speak life or death into yourself or into someone else's life. And I want to take
Yes.
words and make them mean something new, right? I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. I'm not an addict. I'm recovered. You know, you can change a life, or you can transform a life. You know, I'm just all about, you know, making things different, making words really matter, speaking truth into my life as well as speaking truth into others' lives, and teaching them how to affirm and attest who they are every day. You know, I'm a firm believer in daily affirmations. I'm wonderful. I'm
Yes.
successful. I'm beautiful. I'm precious. I'm wonderfully made. I'm made for greatness. I attract money. You know, I am not defeated. I am not you know, um, made I'm not made by my circumstances. I'm not trapped by what's happened to me. Those things can work for me and not against me. And so that's where it comes from. I like to
Yes.
take that one word that can absolutely turn it all around for you, as it did for me. You know, I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. I'm not an addict. I'm recovered, you know, and I just, you know, I look at my son at 21. I was not anywhere near who he is at 21. My son is
Oh, I hear that.
confident and successful. He's got two mentors in the business world. I'm like, I look at him and I'm like,
What?
okay, great. I don't know. You know, of course, I take a little bit of credit because he is my son, but I look at him and he's like, wow. Yeah, he's pretty phenomenal. He really is. He really is. He makes me
And
very
that has
proud every day.
to, it speaks highly of you that you're able to say such amazing things about your son, because,
Yeah.
you know, despite all of the um, ugliness that happened, the hard times that you had, you were able to persevere and you know, come through it to not only survive, but you
Right.
thrived and you became successful and became this role model that your kids could look at and expound on. So you raised the bar, they just raised it that much higher for you.
Thank you.
They're
I
like, Mom, you
receive
need to
that.
catch up to us now. That's
Thank
what they're
you.
trying to tell you.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
And I feel like that's what kids are supposed to do.
Yeah.
I feel like that my kids are young yet. Mine are 6 and 4.
How precious.
My baby's gonna be 5 in July. Oh my gosh. So I've got a long way to go. But even as tiny as they are, the things that they say, the way that they react to certain things, like if I'm not feeling good, they immediately, Mommy, do you need something? Mommy,
Yes.
are you okay? The
Right.
caressing of the face, like it's little things like that that you don't realize they learned from you, and then you're
Right.
wondering, where did you learn this from?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But then you can't help but be like, I did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed. I
I know
agree.
that's why when your face lit up and you were talking about your son, the way when you were talking about your son, I totally react. I totally could feel that for myself, though, you know, looking at my kids and the little things that they do now, as tiny as they are. I can only imagine what's going to happen
Right.
years from now. I
Absolutely.
don't want to think about it. I'm kind of going to keep
Absolutely.
them small as much as I can,
Hmm.
but I
I
know that
get it.
won't last.
I get it.
But oh my goodness, let's talk more about your business. So, where are you located? And you said New Jersey, right? And thankfully,
Because of Skype and Zoom and FaceTime, I have clients all over.
yes. Yes.
So
Now
that's the
that's
benefit.
great. And I feel like that must have been something that was as a result of COVID, I'm assuming, right?
You know what?
Or
I
was that
did
before COVID?
what even pre-COVID, I had clients, you know, initially it was face to face, you know, either in my home office or at their home. I do a lot of non-traditional coaching. I'll go hiking, I'll meet you on the beach, I'll meet you in the park.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
fun.
wherever you consider your safe place and where you feel like you're going to be able to open up, that's where I'll meet you, because that's where you're going to benefit the most. That's where you're going to share really what's going on
I
with
love
you,
that.
you know. um and so after the initial, you know, face to face, a lot of my clients were Zoom already, but because of COVID, oh my gosh, I mean, my business really, and it's unfortunate, but it's just the reality. My business really skyrocketed. You know, a lot of people were left with their own thoughts and left to their own devices and realized, you know what? Going to the office gave that semblance of I'm
Yes.
okay because you had the coffee clutch, you went out to lunch, maybe you spent your lunch hour at the mall or you took a walk for an hour. But having to shelter at home for almost 15, 16 months, people began to realize
Yes.
I'm not okay. I'm really not okay. And I'm not okay with not being okay, you know? And so, yeah, my business definitely grew and continues to grow because now that the world is opening up, people are realizing that they have social anxiety and they don't know how to behave, you know, in a restaurant, on the
Yes.
parkway, back in the office. They're like, you know, they're a little short tempered, not really sure, you know, how to get out of those PJs. Can I wear leggings to the office? You know, there's a lot
Oh,
going
yes.
on right now, right? So,
You shouldn't feel horrible though. You know what? I know you said, unfortunately, or whatever, that your business thrived during the pandemic. I know that was not the case for a lot of businesses.
right.
And, you know, it's such a sad time to hear about businesses that, you know, had to shut down, and not only shut down temporarily but permanently. They can
Permanently.
survive. They weren't
Yeah.
able to keep their heads above water enough to keep the business going, or they, you know, sometimes it was just a matter of they were not sure how to progress with the times so that they could keep up with the internet portion of what is now our lives.
Right.
You know, the shutdowns were very unfortunate for a lot, but it's so great to hear that it wasn't unfortunate for everyone. You know, because people need to hear the stories of of people like you that were able to thrive despite it, in addition to the people who were hurting because of it.
Right.
You know, it's just as important to hear both sides of the stories, see, you know, different reactions to the pandemic, because then, you know, I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job if I only had people who had negative things to say about COVID. You
Agreed.
know, it's
Agreed.
really important to have both sides of the story. And I know you get what I'm trying to say because
Yes,
of
I
all your
do.
counseling and stuff.
100%. I do. I do.
So yes, don't ever you know, second guess that or feel bad about it.
Thank
You know,
you.
I feel like if anything, it's an opportunity to, you know, speak your story in multiple
Right.
platforms as often as possible, so
As
that, you know,
often as
anybody who's
possible.
out there, you know, even if they were struggling during COVID or whatnot, and they had and whatever, they could look to you as, you know, your story could keep them going, get
Right.
them that little push that they need. Well, if she can do it, I can do it. You know,
Definitely.
every little bit helps. No matter how simple your story sounds to someone, to you, it may sound like everything to somebody else. And that's something I've been learning through the process of doing these episodes. You know, like with the asking for the people to introduce themselves at the beginning of the show. There are some people who think that's weird. I've had people tell me, well, don't you want to introduce me? Like, well,
No.
there's like a methodology. I have a method to my madness, people here, okay?
Right.
Because it's one thing for me to read off a paper who you are. It's another thing for you to say who you are. Because
Right.
then, you know, on video here, there's no lying, there's no hiding. You know, who
Right.
you are is going to come through while I'm asking the questions.
True.
So, you know, it's very important in this day and age for small business owners to put themselves out there, because people are going to
Absolutely.
want to do business with the person, not just because of what your business can do for them.
Right. Agreed. Agreed. Thank you.
Your business more than ever, because, you know, you're all about relationships.
All
And
about
trust.
it. All about it. Definitely. You know, I work with a lot of
Yes.
families that are blended, parents that are newly divorced and trying to navigate, you know, the two households, women that are going back into the workplace that have stayed home while their kids were growing up and now their kids are, you know, off to college and they're going back into the workforce, women that are leaving the workforce and deciding, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to work for myself. And how do I do that? You know, so it's a lot of fun. It's very challenging. It can be very exhausting. I do have a coach of my own, right? Because I mean, I can't constantly give and give and give if I'm not receiving also, and having some downtime and,
Yes.
taking care of myself. So yeah, a lot of great things happening. A lot of great things.
And it seems pretty easy to reach you. On your website, I saw that you had a sign up form or whatnot for anybody who wanted information or to get involved with you for help
Absolutely.
and whatnot. What is entailed in that first conversation with someone that you're calling that signed up for information or whatnot? Are you looking for exactly what they're looking for help for, or are you just trying to get them in person as much as you can first before
A
starting
lot
to
of
get into
times,
details?
people don't even know what they want. They just know that something is off. So I'll just say to
That's
them,
powerful.
what are you looking for? And they'll say, well, I'm not as successful as I'd like to be. I feel like my parenting could be stronger. I have an issue with setting boundaries, and they'll run off a whole list of things. And I'll say, okay, let's put those in order. What's the top 3 things that you want to really, really get some help in navigating? And then they'll give me those top 3. And I'll say to them, what is your level of commitment? Do you think that you can, are you committed for 3 months? Are you committed for 6 months? What kind of family support do you have? Is this something that you want to do with your spouse, something that you want to do with your kids, something that you want to do on your own? Are you open to group coaching? I really just have a conversation, and actively listen to what they're saying.
Gosh, and with the way things were going with COVID, I'm sure all these people who were left with their feelings all of a sudden not knowing how to respond to it or digest it, reaching out and suddenly trying to verbalize it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Huge
Absolutely.
deal. I
Yeah.
mean, a few years back, I was struggling and I didn't know why. All of a sudden, I wasn't functioning to the capacity I used to. And
Right.
when I just had my child, my second baby, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, I had no desire to go out anymore. I didn't even want to deal with family members. I hid from them as much as possible. I didn't want anything to do with people. And, it was exactly that. I felt like something was off. I just didn't know what it was.
Right.
And here it was postpartum depression. And, had I not taken the time to recognize that something was off, then who knows what that would have translated to,
Right.
Holding on to that and just kind of ignoring it. But, there's just so much of a, not phobia, like there's still a stigma. Yes, that's the word. There's still so much of a stigma when it comes to reaching out for help, especially for mental health situations and getting counseling and whatnot. Do you still feel like, even in your business and your experiences, that it's still very prevalent today, that stigma still keeps people away from it?
The stigma is definitely there. And what's funny is that a lot of people don't want to put it through to their insurance because they don't want to leave that paper trail, and they're
it's
like,
so true.
Which is fine because I don't take insurance. I mean, I'll give you a receipt and you can put it through and see what your insurance does, but a lot of people are like, they'll tell me what they think is going on with them and they'll say, is that normal? And I says, yeah, there's really no normal. Life is life. And your feelings are your feelings. Feelings are not math or science. They're not factual. They're not statistical. They're your feelings. Yes. And it's not for me to say that they're right or they're wrong. It's for me to say, yeah, it's okay that you're feeling that. And if you're not happy with the way that you're feeling, I can get you to the other side, to where you're happy, to where you're content, to where you're joyful. But are your feelings bad? No, your feelings are not bad. It's what we do with those feelings, right? Yes. Am I overeating? Am I overspending? Am I drinking too much? Am I self-medicating? Am I isolating? That's something completely different. But feelings are not bad. They just are. They just are.
and they are so much of what makes us human and who we
Right.
are. You know, it's so important, you know, to not ignore feelings and really embrace them. And, you know, through my trials through life, I've had to learn that.
Yeah,
I was not always
absolutely.
the case. I was definitely one of those that held it in until I exploded. I was like dangerous. No.
Right.
But you know, I'm just so glad that there's people out there in the world doing what you do
Thank
still
you.
to this day, despite the stigma, despite all the negativity that kind of tends to fly towards your your occupation and whatnot.
Right. Thank you.
You know, it's so great for people to have somewhere to turn to. You know, because sometimes family members, sometimes friends just don't cut it.
Right.
As somebody on the outside with a different point of view that can look at it without knowing you and being able to, you know, have that perception, that separate one, that
Right.
is sometimes what is needed.
Absolutely.
You know, and it could be the key to finding your way through the pain and whatnot. So,
Right.
you know, like I said, it's not an easy job what you do, but it's, you know, I am definitely grateful for people like you that have these types of businesses.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Thank you. And I love it. I do. I love what I do.
Well, you can tell you all you do is smile, my dear. I'm just kidding. Stop
Yeah,
it. I'm just
I
kidding.
definitely have. I have an incredible life, and like you said, I can be reached on my, you know, through my website. My phone number is there.
Yes.
You can call me. You can text me. Let's just chat and see how I can help you. So
I saw you have a Facebook group too. What is the group all about?
it, you know, it, I'll go live on the group and I'll just share like little tidbits. I'll have people, what I'm doing right now on my timeline is I had people drop questions in the comments, what they wanted to hear me talk about. And the last, you know, 4 or 5 days, I've just been going live and talking for about 10 or 15 minutes,
Oh, that's
boundaries,
cool.
talking to your kids about addiction, boundaries with adult children, boundaries in dating, you know, so just little snippets that I'm throwing out there. So
That's so cool. I
thank
have the
you.
link to your Facebook page as well as all your information in the description of the video, but I also have it in the comments. So it's easily clickable for anybody who is interested in finding out more information. So you have no excuse, people. Click the info,
Yes.
copy it, whatever you want to do to it, and find her. You know, get the help that you maybe don't know you need, but somehow feel
Right.
like you do. Because
Right.
that's just, I feel like that's where a lot of people a lot of
Yeah, that's
people
very
are.
true.
They're in that moment where like they feel like they need something, but they don't necessarily want to accept that they do, kind of
And it
thing.
won't cost you anything. I mean, I do offer a free
Nope.
discovery call. So just, you know, just give me a call. We'll chat for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and just see what you need. Maybe you don't need anything at all, but it won't cost you anything. So why not?
Yes. Absolutely. Free is always good. You
Yeah.
can't miss, you can't lose with free, people.
Right. So
So thank you again, Andrea, for, you know, taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with me today.
thank you
You
for
know,
having me.
I'm so grateful for the opportunity to introduce you to all the people who are about to watch this this episode.
Thank you.
You know, for those of you who took the time to stop by, even for a split moment, thank you for the support and stopping by. For those of you who are watching on replay, please hashtag replay in the comments. Would love to see who's stopping by afterwards and checking
Great.
us out. Like I said before, her information is in the comments and in the description of the video. Please, if you want to reach out to her for more information, join her Facebook group and whatnot, click away, copy away, call, text, whatever you need to get to her. She is more than willing to help. You know, and you know, thank you again for what you
Thank
do.
you,
Like I
Tiffany.
said, your job is not easy, but it certainly is a job of service, and you
Thank you
can
so
tell
much.
that you are 100% about that.
Thank you very much.
So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave you with your reminder, as I always do, to put your community first. We do that by shopping small and supporting local businesses.
Great.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your support and love. We will see you next week on Small Biz Highlights.
Thanks, Tiffany. Bye-bye.